Previously on Quest Friends Hereafter. And this ghost comes and just boops a little cone on you. And Tom, I need you to roll me a 1d6.
Oh dear.
Stella, did you ever actually register when you died? I could grab the gifts off your hands, gifts, coats, all of that.
We'll take care about the gifts. No worries there. My plan was to send me to go and buy a gift.
I can help.
I didn't know that she was coming.
I made sure to invite every person that, I've heard Irene talk about.
I'm sorry she ran off, though. It happens a lot when she's at home, too.
The door knocks.
No.
My apologies, sir. My name is Indrid. Happy birthday, Irene. So I want to paint the scene for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to go around and describe a way in which Elliot has lost control of his life. Now, I want to explain what I mean by that for a second. I don't mean he's crying in the bathtub at 2 a.m. eating a gallon of ice cream. I mean, literally ways in which Elliot is trying to exert control over his life, but that control is being wrested from him. Just basically, how is the universe just shitting on this guy despite his best attempts? And don't say I've never given you anything, Hallie.
You've given me one thing. You've given me one thing, and it's this.
So Elliot cares a lot about looks.
Yeah.
And he's been expanding his wardrobe of various expensive, pale dress shirts. And every single one, he has dripped coffee down the front.
Oh, no.
This is based on my life.
No.
The only thing I'm going to change for that is he has not been dripping coffee down the front, at least not from his point of view. Despite all of his efforts, coffee keeps dripping down the front.
Oh, yeah.
He would rephrase it that way.
It is as if physics itself has rebelled against him. He is considered sippy cups. He has gone to the point of sippy cups, and it still spills.
I have an idea. It's kind of subtle, but it drives him furious. So all over work, anytime Elliot has to interact with any sort of overseer or investigator, every single one has quoted an awful viral video at him. They keep tricking him into saying something to the effect of, "Detective, this is a crime scene," so that they can say, "What, is this a murder weapon? Get off my dick!" And then they high-five each other and laugh. It was not funny the first 3 or 4 times. And then it was maybe a little bit funny from times 5 to 10. After time 20, it got really funny for everyone else and deeply unfunny for Elliot. And it has made it impossible for him to work in peace.
I feel like the Rons had a movie night and just ended up watching cat videos and stuff. And then they've just been haunting Elliot.
It's all dead memes, like a bunch of Rick rolls.
Yes.
The shoes, what are those? Specifically the Undertakers. The Overseers do not do memes.
Undertakers, that's the correct one. Sorry. The Undertakers have made Elliot's work life a living hell.
In addition to him caring about his looks, I assume that Elliot cares a lot about his car. And it's an electric car. Not to save the environment, but because it's so expensive that it's just oh man, look at me. I have an electric car.
Like a Tesla.
For true insult, his car is an Edison, not a Tesla.
Yep.
The electric car has not worked. It doesn't turn on. The battery drains really fast. And he has taken it to the mechanic, and apparently he needed to do a bunch of software updates somehow. And then when he comes back, oh man, there was another software update that you need to do. And it just has been like that And so now he doesn't have a car. He tried using a bike, but he doesn't actually know how to ride a bike.
Oh my God.
And he refuses to ask for help and rides and stuff. So now he just has to figure out how to transport himself.
In the rain.
In the rain. Like, he refuses to take public transport. Like, oh, come on, riding in a bus with these other peasants.
Elliot has spent his inheritance on Ubers.
his whole inheritance. Because he always gets like the fancy XL Uber that's just for him.
During rush hour.
All right, Hallie.
Elliot got his first overdue library fine.
He couldn't get there because his car wasn't working.
He couldn't get there because his car wasn't working.
His perfect record lost.
His perfect record. He had to pay the library probably $1, and that's going to haunt him for the rest of his fucking life.
Yeah.
The library staff laughed at him. They said, Elliot, you have an overdue library book? For shame. For shame.
What was the book?
Elliot loves to read things like Catcher in the Rye.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think of a Catcher in the Rye alternate title. That's exactly what I'm thinking of. But all I could think was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I was like, wrong book, wrong book, wrong book.
Pitcher in the, what's a type of bread?
Pumpernickel.
Pitcher in the pumpernickel.
Yeah, I would read that.
Yeah, but that sounds like a fun thing. Elliot's not fun enough for pumpernickel.
In the sourdough.
Oh.
In the
wheat.
Bran.
The bran.
The bran.
Pitcher in the bran. Finally, my thing is that all of this has happened despite him receiving a promotion.
Oh, no.
Because you see, the case with Irene Hawthorne, he might have lost it, but it was a high-profile case and quickly skyrocketed him to what should have been more power and prestige. And yet we see hurried footsteps walking and echoing across the floor, just like the click, 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 click. Next to them, there is the trail of a very long paper receipt that is just kind of bouncing on the ground. As we raise our view, we can see that the receipt is attached to just a massive pile of books that was bought from the equivalent of Barnes & Noble, because Elliot will never get a late library fee again because he's just bought all of them. The tower is kind of tilting up and down as he's using the receipt to desperately try to blot off on his tie, as one of the undertakers who's next to like a drinking fountain points to his shoes, which have had some coffee stains on them, and goes, "What are those?" Those are shoes, Ron 12. Hey, Mr. Hawthorne, you get my email? Elliot turns with an exasperated, just a massive eye roll. Your email? Yes, sir, I just wanted to let you know that we Undertakers have your back. You do now. Yeah, we sure do. We'll, never give you up. We'll never let you down. We'll never, mess around, and just with a click, 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 Elliot speeds away from the conversation. Elliot then closes his eyes, breathing in the stale paperwork and listening to the opulent echoes of vacant hallways, interrupted only by the orderly ticking of a clock. For all his struggles, Elliot knows that the bureau is where he belongs, and as long as he's there, he'll have purpose. But then he steps into an elevator, one that just jostles him and the books start falling over, and he goes down for what feels like falling onto Earth himself, because while he in his head likes to imagine himself in the Bite Courthouse, he's actually been relocated to the Scuba Corps space scraper, which has been taken over by Bite. So much more gaudy, so high, he gets nosebleeds all the time.
Oh, no.
Just a horrible place, and as the elevator goes to a very dramatic stop, the books clatter down below and get some of the coffee stains on them. He then rushes them up, pushes them into his car, just throws them in, sits down, presses the button. Nothing. Presses the button again. Nothing. he just keeps slamming the button and his Edison car won't turn on. And we don't even see that he's slamming it because it's underneath the only street light in the parking lot that doesn't work, that just like flashes on and off and on and off. And it's doing it at the same speed that he's pressing it. So it just looks like his hand is pressed on the button. And yeah, he's going to put his head on the wheel, just like screaming to himself as he desperately presses it. But while we see the shadow of his hand as the lights appear, we also see another smoke-like shadow, more like tendrils, like long, uncomfortable, claw-like fingers wrap around and press the shadow of the button. And as they do, the car lights up. Elliot just sighs. It's worth it, Elliot. You are Elliot. You are seeming to have a little bit of difficulty despite your new promotion, aren't you, Mr. Hawthorne? Elliot looks up and he sees a figure, one in a very casual outfit, like the khaki pants, the loose tie, the mustard shirt. He's got a smile that wraps to the side of his face, and he also casually flicks this lighter with a green flame in it, with a flick, click, flick, click. And seeing his superior, Elliot immediately, Overseer Cold, what brings you here? Oh, I was quite impressed with that work on that trial. There were some nefarious forces at work there. Real aberrations, wouldn't you say? Yes, I suppose in causing order one must deal with irregularities. Order, yes. Nothing quite like order, is there? Nothing like a battery that never runs out, a wardrobe that is always pressed and clean, co-workers who are professional, and, of course, a library book always returned on time. Elliot he does a Sparky scream, just the he does that in his head, just screaming as he stares. That would be correct, sir. And yet, I get the impression that is not what is quite going for you, is it? Well, I would never doubt the Bureau, sir. The Bureau gives order. It gives order from time to time, but, well, if one isn't committed to the goal, then one can't see the benefits, can they? What are you saying, Overseer Cold? And Injured Cold, his smile stays the same length, but his eyes grow wide with excitement. What I'm saying, Mr. Hawthorne, is I would like to offer you another promotion. Flick, click, flick, click. Injured Cold playing with his lighter is the only sound being made in the living room of the Hawthorne family.
Did you at least bring a gift?
Elliot turns and smiles. Sparky, of course I brought a gift. I've heard, and he starts rummaging in his bag. I've heard that you've actually had difficulty finding all of your socks, so I have gone out of my way to procure, and he pulls out a beautiful, fitted, professional shirt plus dress addressed to Sparky Malarkey.
Not for me! For your sister, the birthday girl!
Yes, Irene,
No, Boydle Rat. I know it looks like there is trash in the doorway, but you do not want to make contact with him. The only thing he's good for is losing court cases and hurting his family. Bye, Elliot.
Sparky holds her hand up for a high five.
Irene looks at her.
Sparky does not move her hand. She is still waiting.
Quite a firecracker, that one.
Irene takes a big step back and stumbles a little bit.
Speaking of the trial, in fact.
I didn't do the crime and you can't take me anywhere.
Oh, I have no intention of taking you anywhere. Dear child, it is your birthday, and I thought a memento of our time together would be most appropriate. And he pulls out, with a bow on it from his pocket, a summoning coin. This is the coin that summons somebody's soul and sends it back. It was the thing that let you investigate with everyone else while you were trapped in jail. And he, with his long pointed claw-like fingers, just extends it to you as a gift. Go ahead. I've already gotten approval.
You can set it on the table. I don't want to touch it.
Always difficult, Irene. All right, come, I'll take it and I'll put her little cute training things or whatever they are there as well, since apparently she needs them. And Elliot is going to take his gift, which is tiny 1/8 pound ankle weights.
Jesus Christ.
For like strength training.
What?
And you can tell that this is the same one he gives you each year because you always sneak it back to him.
What the fuck?
And he just sets it. I'm gonna just say he lazily sets it. In fact, it brushes against and doesn't like really harm, but it pushes back one of the branches of the little tree that Juniper gifted you.
Irene's nostrils flare in rage, but she does not say anything else. Now that Indrid Cold has introduced himself to the conversation, she is not as excited to dunk on Elliot.
What is the silence here? I thought this was a party. Oh, are these merryful hats for us?
You were not invited to my party!
He points to Earl and says, were they for us, sir?
Hilda's gonna stand in front of Irene and stammer at first. Do you have a warrant to be here? Because otherwise this is an unlawful search.
I'm looking at the wrong sheet.
I don't like that he has a sheet. I don't like that you're rolling. Did you know that? Kyle's rolling.
Hilda, what's your highest stat?
My highest stat is heart.
I'm going to use a move here from Indrid Cold's character sheet.
Oh dear.
The move is called The Void Stares Back.
Oh no!
No.
Reflect someone's inner self back at them. If your target is a PC, choose their highest stat. Heart. You connect on a deep level with your target. Hold 1 full success on convince somebody with your target. Now, Hilda would never believe Indrid Cold, but as he looks at you, something rattles Hilda to her very core.
I think it is honestly that Indrid Cole is very comfortable with ignoring the illusion of legality. That at the core of his essence, he doesn't need permission. That's a thing somebody says somewhere, but no warrant or anything else is going to stop him from going where he pleases.
Oh, dear child, no warrants are needed here. We were invited, were we not? And Elliot pulls out an invitation, a handmade one with like personal art.
Oh my god.
Honestly, really fucking good art. Earl is actually a really good artist, even if it's like way too fancy for this. And Earl is like, well, now wait now, I didn't send that to you. No, but you did address it to one esteemed Oset Scuba of the Scuba Corps Space Scraper, and since that property is now under the domain of the Bureau of Intermortal Enforcement. May I? Indrid has now walked over to the table, pulls the 2 remaining party hats, looks at them, kind of weighs them in each hand, and then just puts one on his head before giving the other one to Elliot. And Elliot looks a little bit nervous, like he holds it and you can see he's starting to sweat and he's starting to be a little afraid. And Indrid's just like, go on. Elliot takes it, puts it on his head. And do you remember how you had the roll every time you put on a party hat? That's because one of them, this hat in fact, does the and a bunch of confetti and glitter just explodes on the side of Elliot's head from out of the hat.
Irene will take this opportunity to grab Hilda's hand and pull her further away from Indrid Cold.
Hilda will not fight back. She is big scared right now.
Well, isn't this festive? You know, we were just doing karaoke. Do you sing? Indrid, was it?
I much prefer to listen, if I say so myself.
Oh.
However, Mr. Hawthorne, And Elliot looks like really alarmed, like back and forth. Well, you're quite exceptional at most things. I'm sure you can sing quite well, can you not? Overseer Cold, I thought we were here for the party. Yes, we were here for a party.
Every good party has karaoke.
Every good party has karaoke. And he starts sweating again, and he stares at Indrid Cold, who just motions to the stage. Well, go ahead. This is a party after all.
You can't crash a party and then not party. That would be 2 faux pas in one. Do pause.
Well, yeah, Irene's friend, you can, Earl looks around and you notice for the first time that Juniper's just fucking gone. Both Juniper and Stella have fucking bounced. They're nowhere to be seen.
They're in a better place.
Don't say that. Don't say that when we're in this kind of situation. And Earl just, awkwardly walks over and presses a button. And I'm just gonna say Barbie Girl plays.
Hell yeah.
Just flat out Barbie Girl starts playing on the CD.
No changes.
No changes.
Okay, so I'd really like to record this on my phone while he's singing.
Yeah. I'll just let you do that.
Yay!
You now have this, you can use this as an asset against Elliot at a point of your choosing.
And then I'm gonna plop down next to Indrid Cold.
Okay.
We're besties now.
Yeah.
Sparky Malarkey's gonna get herself disappeared.
Probably.
You ever tried to disappear Sparky Malarkey? It is really fucking hard.
Kike has.
Yeah, and he didn't do it.
It's true.
Now we're best friends. So, wow, you just know everything. Seems like you've been out and about a lot lately. You ever been to a restaurant? It's in the hereafter. It's in the after. It's called, High Hop? Die Hop. It's called Die Hop. You ever been there?
Oh, the lights of diner food really are quite something.
Yeah, that didn't answer my question.
Well, frankly, I've had no need to go to Die Hop.
That also didn't answer my question. Like, I don't need to go there, but I go there.
Yes, well, aberrations can come and go where they choose, but unfortunately I must do what the powers that be dictate, which, speaking of, I did not mean to frighten the children, but I have heard tell of a haunting in the area.
A haunting?
Is it because of you? Are you the haunting?
Quite not a haunting. A haunting? A ghost terrifying a new couple's house, a zombie rising from the basement, one of the dead taking up residence in a spot of the here where one does not belong.
Does that still happen? She's turning to Kike.
I mean, I guess technically they can. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you define as a haunting. Why are you asking me?
I don't know. You're a skeleton. Like you're a skeleton. You're a skeleton. You know about this.
Yeah, I get. Like, it depends on who defines it. Like, if there's a ghost chilling in a bar, would you consider that a haunting? Like, that could just be like Joe the neighbor from down the street having a drink at a bar. Would you say that bar is haunted?
Yeah, that's what Indy here is like, oh, there's a haunting, people are scary. And I'm asking, like, from your experience, do you have, like, do ghosts even do that?
I mean, that's why I said this mic dropping, as the cool kids would say, response as to, oh, is the haunting you? Because that's the only haunting I can think of, is him being here.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you're around all the time, and that's not a haunting. Like, people like Stella's around. Like, people hang out, and that's not a haunting.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
a ghost being at a bar, is that considered what is considered a haunting? What is your definition of a haunting?
Indrid Cold's eyes widen again. And pray tell, where is Miss Stella Hawthorne?
Well, how should I know? She doesn't live here.
This is where I would have you normally roll to tell a lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take 1 AP for automatically failing.
Oh,
No.
wait.
Because Indrid Cold may or may not have a descriptor called detects lies.
Wow, fuck this guy. Fuck Indiana Cold.
I'm just going to casually declare him guilty while we're at it.
Well, can I try and counteract that using why would I lie? Because in my advanced, I can use why would I lie when a different character is lying as well.
She doesn't live here because she's not alive. Hook, line, sinker, gotcha.
If your character is lying, spend 1 AP. Oh, I forgot that I broke the game with that again. I misinterpreted the name of the move. This move is weirdly phrased, Kyle.
It's phrased exactly how I intend it to be phrased. That's why I said as long as it doesn't contradict any evidence. And if I wanted to be strict, I would say, well, no, I have said that Stella's been bumming off of Aubrey's couch. Which, to clarify, that's what a haunting is. When you die, you automatically move to the hereafter. But Stella never updated her residence, so she's technically haunting Aubrey. And I want to stress that technicality part, because it's a pretty minor law that Indrid is making seem bigger than it is because he isn't fun. But I want to be fun. So I'm going to say you can hear a car peeling out of the driveway. And Stella fucking books it.
Good.
But you couldn't hear the car at first. It was silent. You couldn't hear the gas because my Edison.
Yeah, it's Elliot's car. That's what I was.
My Edison is gone.
That's what I was about to joke.
My Edison is gone. It suddenly works.
Stella Hawthorne has stolen Elliot's Edison and is fucking booking it.
She's running.
She's running from the law.
As one should.
Ah, a shame. I will say that the trajectory of tonight is not going at all how it was planned. We hear the jovial but spooky elevator music of Hobby Bobby, and walking through the halls looking for the things he needs for a gift is Kalimbo. But Kalimbo is not alone. He has recruited help. Next to Kalimbo, we see a key clone in a puffy 90s jacket, a disgraced, excommunicated ex-Pope Kike,
God.
and a kingpecker.
Somehow the clones have appeared as well, even though they're like...
Well, they can just appear. They're still around. You're just swooping them from wherever they were.
That's fair.
So yeah, he just called up his buddies. Like, you use magic, but Kalimbo just picks up the phone and is like, "Hey, Xavier, you doing anything? I know you aren't. Come here."
Yeah, no, I'm totally down. This is Xavier's voice, right?
It was kind of like Dippy Fresh. It was Dippy
Yeah.
Fresh.
Hey!
Yeah, there you go.
This is Xavier. Yeah, no, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I knew you weren't.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah, the four of you are in Hobby Bobby.
Yo, man, I love how small these shopping carts are. Oh, wow, that's a coloring book. Yes!
Oh, that looks like a good one, man.
Urbano yanks that coloring book out of your hands. Do you know what filth lies in these? Look at this shape right here. He points to one of the pages where there's a big floral illustration. Georgia O'Keeffe? Do you know who that is?
Dugan will attempt to eat the page.
Urbano startles.
I also want to note, instead of having a meter, Urbano is now eternally on fire because Kike said he was doomed to eternal damnation if he failed to watch after Yunuin during the college episode,
Oh, yeah.
which he fully failed to do.
It's true.
Failure is up to divine interpretation, and he has indeed decided that I have failed. I am a failure.
Dugan will just shake his head that he is not a failure, and a little pat on his head.
Thank you, you beautiful being.
Okay. Wow, guys, we're doing a really good job considering that we've destroyed a coloring book in Hobby Bobby.
I don't even know what we were here for again. I've fully forgotten.
I also don't know what we were here for.
Yeah, so, destroying a coloring book was on my list of things to do today, but it's actually number 3. Number 1 is, we're here for, a puzzle.
A what?
A puzzle. A jigsaw puzzle.
What?
A puzzle?
Oh, that must be how you say it. Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta look for this specific jigsaw puzzle.
What is it of?
A swamp.
I think you should go ask
Oh, like a person?
an employee for the puzzles.
Oh, that's so scary.
I think you should go ask that.
That's so scary. This is why I brought you guys along. You and the bird. I brought you guys along so I didn't have to talk to anybody.
Toucan is gonna push Kalimbo up and towards Claire.
What?
Xavier's just walking up to it and play. Oh, hey, my dude. You tell me where I can find like a swamp puzzle. Jigsaw variety. But not the movie, just a jigsaw puzzle.
What's the movie?
Don't worry about it.
A little doll man on a tricycle just hangs his head sad and just doot 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 doot, just like bicycles back to the back of the store. Hey, you know how comedic relief is used as a tool in order to help alleviate moments of tension?
No.
Anyways, you're back at the party with Elliot and Indrid Cold.
That's always fun.
Elliot, did you come to my birthday party to arrest another of your sisters?
Elliot just looks at you.
You know, in the Necromon session where our characters, that system, they had breaks?
Yeah.
I feel like this is Irene's break. And she will grab one of the little ankle weights and chuck it with all of her strength at Elliot.
Roll me, take a swing with fierce.
7 plus 3 is 10.
10.
Take a swing. Hit your target and choose one benefit.
I want advantage, I think. Yeah, I want advantage over Elliot. He's just so startled that Irene is actually not behaving herself. Like, she's always mean verbally, but she's contained.
He just get conked on the head. Ow! Oh! Ow.
I would like to throw the other ankle weight.
Roll me, take a swing with advantage.
5 and 4 plus 3.
So you can temporarily immobilize him or move him to a nearby position.
Maybe make him stumble back a little bit, like towards the door?
Okay. You throw it at him and he just stumbles backwards, falls out the door, the hat goes down, spills everywhere, like the confetti inside of it. He's like, this is why I didn't want to come. This is why you... Family. Who needs people with a family like that, all right? All right?
Yeah, I guess you're finally figuring out how it feels, Elliot. We tried to love you, even if we didn't always like you. Now nobody loves you either.
Love. Who needs love? Who needs love? All one needs is to get things together.
I want to throw the fruit basket at him.
Sparky has procured popcorn in the background, and she's just sharing it with Kike.
Oh, yeah.
Roll me, take a swing.
Okay, well, that's still 7.
Hilda's going to take one for the team to upgrade that to a full success.
Hell yeah!
Let's take one for the team. Do again.
Once per adventure, increase the roll of something to 10, ignoring stats in particular. In response, the GM is able to hold one hard move that targets your character in particular.
Okay. How do you take one for the team?
Hilda is just going to be like unnoticed in the background, like crawling across the floor, like trying not to be noticed, but like behind Elliot such that as he backs up to try and avoid this, he just like trips over Hilda.
Elliot just thumps to the ground. I hate this family. I hate this world.
We hate you now. We didn't, but now we do.
That's fine. He just sits there and he stares at the sky.
This isn't your home. You leave now.
Flick. Click. Flick.
Irene flinches.
Oh.
She completely forgot that Indrid Cold was there.
The green light around Indrid Cold illuminates. He doesn't normally have a shadow, but as he flicks the light, his shadow covers the entire room. A brilliant show, Miss Hawthorne. a fine way of defending your home, which you have every right to do. If this wasn't your home, however, and he looks at you, Hilda, behavior such as that could be considered assault. He flicks the light on, and this time his shadow stays around the entire room. And that could be considered means for a visit down to the Bureau.
Hilda's my friend, so it's her home, Irene says, definitely not about to pass out from fear.
Hilda says nothing.
It is quite the kind sentiment, Miss Hawthorne. Unfortunately, sentiments like that have very little legal bearing. It's quite impressive you all made it as far as you did. And if I must be frank with you for a moment, you understand frustration, do you not, Miss Hawthorne? You understand fear. You understand how it feels to have a perfectly laid out plan, only to see it peel down the distance. He says, pointing to the dot where Stella Hawthorne.
There are like scorch marks on the driveway.
The haunting that is the source of the title, A Birthday Haunting.
We just undid.
Flying off into the distance thanks to a roll. Well, one might say aberrations like that, well, they must be stamped out by force if necessary. He looks at you, Hilda. I'll give you a chance to come quietly if you so choose.
Are you actually arresting her right now? Because I'm her defense attorney, so you're gonna have to go through me.
And me. I'm not a defense attorney, but I can be one. I've been one before. I can be one again.
We're both her defense attorneys, so you're gonna have to go through us.
Hilda isn't going anywhere with you.
I suppose that is only fair that you bring along your team. I just hope it is fine if I bring along my enforcement team as well. He flicks the lighter again. His shadow looks like him for a second, but then it looks like there's hair around it.
Ew.
But the hair takes distinct, long, feathery form. From the back of his shadow, two massive wings sprout, each of them shooting out their own feathers, the size of small children. Then they start to fall, like leaves on an autumn tree. But every time they are plucked, you could swear you hear an ethereal, ghostly scream from the flames. And these wings fall to the ground, where from each of them, you see a pair of pale green dots. And then they start rising, taking three-dimensional forms, each of them small, round, and feathered. You quickly find yourself in a room filled entirely with hostile Mothmen.
What?
Hissing at you.
Wait, what? No! I don't want to fight a little Mothman! There's so many Mothmen! That's so many Mothmen!
Irene will look at the adults. She's not gonna say the words, I need an adult, but she needs an adult.
Hilda could also use an adult.
Oh boy. Okay, so to clarify the situation, just Indrid Cold's shadow has turned into little Mothmen, or like Indrid himself has like...
No, Indrid's still there.
Okay.
His shadow basically sprouted wings, which then propagated a bunch of Mothmen. And every time one was made, a scream came from his lighter.
Okay, this is like a scary Facilier type thing.
Yeah. And I'm actually going to say, yeah, the adults come to help you. And I am going to roll, take a swing with my signature item, which is my lighter, so I get advantage, using the stat weird, which is +4.
Jesus!
So I rolled an 8 and I get a 12 overall. What? Earl and Aubrey go to help you, but they're quickly pulled back by the Mothmen, which I'm going to say attach them to the wall and then like stick on them like a bunch of orbs.
Dad.
Hey there. One last chance, Miss Miskevich.
This isn't fair.
Perhaps not, but it is just. And the Mothmen are going to charge at you. It looks like our party is running out of time. You know who's also running out of time? You. You're running out of time to purchase the TTRPGs for Accessible Gaming Charity Bundle, which is the focus of today's announcement break. That's right, did you know that there are no widely available Braille dice for tabletop role-playing games? You should, because I mentioned it in the last announcement break. But, in case you forgot, the Dots RPG project has been working for years to create high-quality Braille polyhedral dice and get them out into the world. This would allow blind people to have an affordable, beautiful, and fun way to be on equal footing at the gaming table. Because you just can't beat the feeling of rolling a Maleta, or even a Snake Eyes, with your own hands. The dice are ready, but they need to raise the funds to actually make them, and that's where this bundle comes in. For $10, which is just the price of Under the Neighborhood, you get Under the Neighborhood and over 300 other tabletop role-playing games. And all these funds go directly to making colorful, high-quality acrylic Braille dice. They even will do fancy metal versions if they get enough support. Now, I want to note that part of the reason that I keep bringing up this bundle is that it's actually supported in part by our transcriber, who is fantastic both on our work with this podcast and on our work with Dots. And I just think this is really important. It's really good, and again, it's a really fucking good deal. So check out the link in the description for the game bundle and connect with Dots on socials at Dots RPG to get updates and learn more about their gaming accessibility efforts. You only have until October 20th to get this bundle, but why don't you just do it now, after listening to the episode? Because we're going to go straight back into that. Our next episode after this will be Crepe Escape. But if you like additional short stories, podcasts, or game mechanics, you can check them out at patreon.com/questfriends. I'll see you there. It's time for a confrontation. So the way confrontations work is they have a goal, you have a goal, he has a goal. His is probably difficulty 3. His goal is to get the person who broke the law. It was gonna be Stella, but thanks to your beautiful actions, it is now Hilda.
Broke the law by tripping a man.
But specifically, he's not going after you, the Mothmen are. So the Mothmen don't have his stats. They're a monster enemy that have a fierce stat of +2, which basically means if you do something that is fierce, you'll roll -2 because they're good at that.
Mm-hmm.
So his goal is get Hilda. What is your goal as these Mothmen, which are progressively, they're starting to pile on top of each other and get up to the walls? The room is filling with Mothmen.
I guess it's escape.
For the Mothman not to get Hilda.
I suppose it would be too ambitious to say capture Indrid Cole.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing anything close to that, but I think it would be nice specifically if Indrid Cole and the Mothmen could not be in my house.
Okay.
I want them to not be capturing Hilda. Not capture Hilda. Not be capturing Hilda. That means if we win, I don't want them to just come back the next day.
All right, I'm going to give you difficulty 4 of that, but because he is not fighting you, it's not PC versus PC rules. In fact, because I want to be a real dick, he's actually going to just walk out the door and say, "It was quite a lovely party."
Wow, fuck this guy! Fuck this guy and his Mothmen.
And now the Mothmen are going to go after you.
He does not deserve custody of these Mothmen.
So,
Fuck Indrid.
I am wondering about getting the Necromon involved.
Necromon.
Necromon. Necromon. Necromon.
Hilda will also take out a balloon axe.
Hell yeah.
Okay. The Necromon attack. Attack, Necromon.
Yeah, why not?
You're the trainer. How are you getting us to attack?
Irene's kind of frozen.
Come on, team Irene's Necromon. Irene is frozen. We gotta help our child.
It's character growth time. Mossies are going to use their newfound teamwork with Malaya to suggest a plan.
Ooh.
The Mossies are going to pantomime with a bunch of
Oh, damn.
They want Malaya to like bowl them at the Mothmen so that the Mossies like knock them over like bowling pins going everywhere with the sound effect too. Just a bunch of Mossy fastball specials.
Malaya will get very excited at the prospect of tossing anything, especially his new friends.
All right. Ari, roll me 2d6.
That's a 10.
All right. Hell yeah. I'm assuming you want to fill your clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
Describe how you bowl over these Mothmen, which are starting to they're starting to like hiss and start just charging at you. It'd be cute if it wasn't so goddamn terrifying.
I mean, I think it's just the, like, Malaya getting really excited at the Mossies being like, toss me, and him just running and, like, doing a perfect... If there were actually bowling pins, it would be a perfect strike.
Everyone's miserable, but Malaya's having a great time.
Yes.
Yeah, the Mothman just like a strike effect, and as some of them get hit, they actually fall back and sink into the ground, where there's just a little bit of that green flame, the green light from their eyes, which is the last thing that goes, and it just ekes out with another tiny little scream.
I would like to use one or several AP,
Okay?
depending on what you make this cost. But they're moths, so I would like to procure a big lamp, and I just want them to flock towards the light.
So 1 AP for the big light.
Okay.
I enjoy that you somehow don't have Irene's birthday gift, but you do have a big-ass
that's
light.
like, oh man, look at this fucking light. Well, I don't know. I was thinking I would flavor it like they have like a chandelier or something.
Yeah, Malaya and Mossies, they're throwing, and there seems to be extra force, and Mossies have, like, auto-aim on, where, like, if Malaya misses, they'll just boom back.
Nice.
Similarly, when you go looking for something, you can't seem to find anything, and at one point you look back up, maybe there's something on the ceiling, but you missed it, and suddenly, the perfect light you need is there.
There's the whole like, sound effect around it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I guess convince somebody with slit, because you're trying to, like... No, I'm gonna say with heart.
okay, both are -2, so it doesn't matter. 7, no, 5. Because of the -2.
I'm gonna take one for the team again.
How does Hilda take one for the team?
The light doesn't actually work as well as Sparky intended, so Hilda becomes the bait to lure them into the lamp.
No, Hilda, no!
I love that. I love that. Yeah, Hilda, what are you thinking of before you just book it?
At least she's gone. This is doable now.
Oh.
It'll be okay.
And Hilda runs away, and before any of you can follow, the Mothmen block the door.
No!
No.
Hilda, you are running in the suburb, completely dark, with nothing except the green lights of the Mothmen chasing you.
Booker pokes his head out of the trash can where he had scurried off to hide when Indrid Cold showed up.
Hilda's gonna scoop him up and just keep on running, arms wrapped around Booker.
Recoup, 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 recoup,
We gotta
recoup,
run. We gotta hide. Gotta
recoup,
run. Gotta hide.
recoup.
I have 1 AP to spend, and I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
It's my move anyway. It's pulls pranks. I'm spending 1 AP to pull a prank.
Yeah, you're gonna pull a prank on these Mothmen as you run for your life.
Watch and learn. Here's the deal. They'll slip and slide on this banana peel that
Oh my god!
that Hilda chucks behind her as she runs.
The tonal whiplash, Hilda running for her life from these tiny Mothmen and just throwing fucking banana peels.
She pulls the banana peel off of Booker, which had stuck to him in the trash, and throws it behind her.
Okay, roll me, I think take a swing is probably the most appropriate one here.
Maleta. Nat 6s, 15 overall. As we're running, they start slipping on the banana peel, but then it like becomes a cascade as more and more Mothmen run into slipping Mothmen, and soon like an entire pile of Mothmen is just sliding around in a weird squeaking pile. down the street, and they all fall into a little storm drain and get stuck in there. And Hilda takes a deep breath and like slows the running a bit and rounds a corner. And there's another Mothman just...
It hisses and it gets furious and angry. It starts rising in size, and you can see that it starts to form like basically the skeleton of a bird.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Would a Mothman find it distracting if a burning skeleton appeared?
Oh my god.
Are you just walking out?
Just like strolling.
I feel like we're just like doing a cool walk back towards the house. We're chilling. We're buddy.
I like to imagine that Xavier has stolen a cart from Hobby Bobby and comes barreling through on that.
At first, Urano does not see the Mothman. He sees only a child who is ready to be blessed.
Who faces the fires of hell instead.
And he hurries forth, hand outstretched.
The Mothman turns around, the eyes growing wide as its creepy skeletal form takes shape. Fury, and you could swear you hear it whisper, "Traitors." And Hilda, it heeds no attention to you at all as it turns at Urbano, lets out a guttural scream.
Urbano holds two shaking fingers together in a cross shape.
It leaps at you, and for a second it looks like there's no hope for Urbano. But then you hear, "Time for this cookie to crumble." Out of nowhere, a strong glitter of three, it looks like Neapolitan ice cream almost, like a triple, like a helix, hits the Mothman, which explodes and falls to the ground. And Urbano, for a brief moment, you see a floating, glittering golden figure on a wooden staff, brown coily hair reaching towards the sky before she flies away.
Jesus?
Back at the house, how is everyone responding to Hilda fucking bolting?
I'm trying so hard to get out the door. So the door was locked by the little mom. I'm trying so hard to get to Hilda. This is like, oh my god, like, no, she's my protege. It's like my child.
Irene was freaking out. What was Kike doing?
I think the same thing.
So two adults desperately trying to reach out.
One child just standing there completely frozen.
And the Mothmen just suddenly go away.
That's good, right?
I think so.
That's gotta be good. Hilda! Hilda!
Irene, kiddo, are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm fine. Don't touch me.
Okay, well,
Irene peeks out the door to see if Hilda's there.
you look out and you don't see anyone for a second. You don't even see Elliot. He seems to have just disappeared. After a few moments, you see three skeleton, a bird, Hilda, and then Juniper, who happened to meet up with Hilda on the way back, suspiciously.
Oh, wow.
Was like, yeah, I was just out here.
Wow.
I was just out here doing stuff. Coming back with a perfectly wrapped gift for Irene. No, sorry, the Key Clones did it. A really shittily wrapped gift for Irene.
I was trying to think, like,
That's more like it.
A really poorly wrapped gift for Irene.
if it was perfectly wrapped, I'd say Toucan did it.
Toucan actually was the best rapper of the group.
Yeah, that's...
But no one let him because he was a bird and kept trying to eat the gift.
Yep.
Probably once Irene realized that Hilda was okay, she would have just told everybody to leave.
Hilda's also ready to go home.
Either that or she would have left.
Okay.
She would have just gone to her room and shut the door.
But before everybody splits, sensing the really down mood, Sparky, who is just so fucking relieved that Hilda's fine, she's got her arm around Hilda's shoulder like, okay, well, tonight was a lot. We've been through a lot. Happy birthday, Irene. Been through a lot tonight. But I think we can all agree we've all got some questions, yeah? So, who wants to help me break into Die Hop?
Ask me when it is not the worst day of my life.
Irene, after everyone leaves, eventually you do sneak out and you open your gifts. What did Sparky and Kike get for Irene?
A jigsaw puzzle of a swamp, apparently.
Okay, well, yes. So it's a jigsaw puzzle. It's like a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and it's of a swamp, like a pretty swamp, like a bayou. But the most important part of the jigsaw puzzle is that this jigsaw puzzle says for 14 and up.
That's adorable.
And then she turns to the gift from Kike.
His gift is a 3D printed magnifying glass that has her Necromon kind of like moving around the magnifying glass, and on the stick of the magnifying glass it says "World's Greatest Detect Team."
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. Rough day, but it seems like you've got some people behind your back.
Yeah, Irene feels kind of bad about how she yelled at them to leave at the end of the day.
And as you're taking in this emotional moment, you hear a scream from one of the Mothmen. You turn around and you see a figure, haggard. He's tall, with deep, tired grooves under his eyes. His long black coat is filled with just a bunch of stains and other miscellaneous things. It's crumpled and poorly taken care of. And you can see his dyed green hair is now really brown at the roots. A really tired, upset, just lost control of his life, Oset Scuba turns around the corner, holding a wriggling Mothman in one hand, and he says, "Apologies for being late to the birthday party. And he lifts up the Mothman on a hand that's just covered in scratches. "I caught you a rare Necromon."
Please leave my home.
You haven't been to your trailer a lot lately. I didn't want to bring that up, Hope you aren't spending, He's trying to pull the I hope you haven't been at other men's houses.
Yeah.
Alluding to the fact that you've probably had a lot of sleepovers with Kike. He doesn't know that.
At other men's houses.
At other men's houses. At other people's trailer.
What's your deal, Mr. Cold?
Hey, Kike.
Yeah, I know you were gonna do that too, but like...
What's your highest stat?
It is... slick.
It is slick. I get access to one of your weaknesses.
Oh no!
He's gonna say, "Quite an astute observation, Mr. Ueso Kanaka. I suppose that's why your Sabrina isn't here, is it?"
That is irrelevant to my point, sir.
Oh, Kike Sabrina?
On a personal level, no. But, I like to keep track of my friends.
That's kind of weird. Maybe you should stop being so obsessed with us.
Oh, I quite assure you. And he looks specifically at the four of you. I am not the aberration here.
Since you know so much, I've been looking for my socks.
Hey, Sparky, maybe he knows why your coffee machine breaks all the time.
Yeah, why does that keep breaking all the time? That's good thinking, Kike. Idrid, why does my coffee machine break all the time?
I think it's just cheap.
I mean, that could be it, but, Indrid might have a different opinion here.
Out of nowhere, he pulls one of your missing socks, Sparky.
No!
And you get to fill your tracker by one.
Okay, well, I like the tracker part.
And as Indrid Cold hands it to you, he says, "You put the filter in upside down."
Oh no, Sparky! I told you multiple times that filter looked weird, and did you listen to me? Oh no, you didn't.
You don't even drink coffee. How would you know about
I don't drink coffee, but like I know how coffee machines work.
the filter? Like that's you don't even drink the filter. God, now I have to go out and get a filter.
Sparky, the Bureau has a very nice coffee machine, and we are looking for more defense attorneys.
Oh, wow, that sounds like the perfect reason to become a defense attorney. So to get access to the Bureau's coffee.
I maybe shouldn't make this joke. You can cut it later, but Urbano feels right at home in this environment.
Oh,
no!
Hey!
Listen, I vaguely remember almost X-carding Hobby Bobby because Hobby Lobby does not deserve to be in this. So no, don't cut that.
Tom has reverse X-carded.
Sorry, speaking on behalf of Quest Friends as an employee, fuck Hobby Lobby. They can go to hell. I am saying this with the full authority of Quest Friends LLC. This view does represent the company.
I mean, I'll include that. I just have to, technically you're a volunteer, but otherwise, yeah, go for it. Anyways, you're in Hobby Bobby. I want you to really think about it, that you are going to go mouth first into the middle of a Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
I don't know what that means. So, yeah.
She's the vagina flower lady.
Oh, okay.
She painted many floral pieces that evoke the vague shapes of reproductive anatomy.
Okay.
I love her.
Anyways, Toucan eats the vagina paper.
But I wanted that.